Yeah. We are on. No way. Yep. We are on, guys. Can I reach that net? Yep. This is the H2 Minnow in gold. Oh, off. Good morning, Isaac from One Up Fishing, and we're back down at the Cooks River today. A very foggy morning, but what I want to try is I've got some metal jigs, some micro metal jigs that I picked up in Japan, and I've just got one very light rod set up, and we'll flick them around and see what we can get. Let's go. These are the two jigs here, super small. I think they cost me about $1.40 each in Japan. Let's see if we can get a fish on them. So yeah, outgoing tide this morning. It was about 1 metre high tide right at first light. With micro jigs or with metal jigs, you can really just work whatever part of the water you want, whether it's the bottom, middle or top. You can let it sink all the way to the bottom and then work it. You can just work it along the middle after it sinks for a little bit, or you can just work it along the top like a normal kind of metal. We'll try along the bottom for a couple. It's got a tiny little treble hook on it. The water is pretty murky, considering we just had like a week of rain. It's about 8 seconds to sink. It's not that deep there. It's most effective when it's falling through the water freely and it kind of just shimmering, looking like that dead, injured, easy meal. One big rod lift, 2 big rod lifts, and wind up the slack whilst doing it. Wait a few seconds. Repeat. Little bust up there. We're on. Oh, we're off. We're off. Very tiny treble hook. There's little bits of action kind of going on, like there'll be a bust up over there or one here, or you'll see a flash of something swim by. So it's just a matter of putting this jig in front of a fish, because it is fairly murky, so they're not going to see it from super far away. Because I'm fishing so light, this rod here has a cast-in weight of 1/32 of an ounce to 5/16 of an ounce, which is super light, which is what you need. If you can match your rod's casting weight, you're just going to get the most value and the most power from your casts. Ooh, on the drop. The wind's kind of swung. It's got more southerly in it now, so it's kind of wrapping around. I've also moved spots. I was over on that other side, and also I was kind of more in the wind there, so not the worst. let's see if by swapping spots we can get on. So I've defaulted just to the method of 2 big loopy rod lifts, wind in the slack, and then just let that 3 gram metal jig just flutter down through the water column to the bottom. And then, yeah, 2 big pulls to get it up to the top again, and then let it flutter down. And the aim is for it to get hit as it's fluttering down on the drop. Pop it off. I'm not having much luck on the silver. Hopefully this yellowy green one will just cut through that murky water. So that's, the silver one was 5 grams. This little guy is 3 grams. Tiny. Yeah. We are on the little micro jig, the yellow and green. And there we go. A silver trevally. There's a nice little trev on the 3 gram micro jig. There he is, little trevally, the 3 gram in the brighter colour, the green and the yellow did the trick. Let's send him back. No way. There we go, guys. Cook's River. If you eat fish from here, enjoy. My advice is definitely don't eat fish from here. And that's one of the many reasons why. So in the water down here is lots of tiny little, I wouldn't even say bait fish, I'd just say fish fry, like very juvenile fish. Try to get a shot of them. It's actually prawns, I think. Tiny little juvenile prawns. And that's a great sign because you'll get those trevally and you'll get those other fish that hang around here hoping to get these guys when the tide gets low enough and they get flushed into deeper water. Free bucket. Oh, I don't think I can reach it, and I don't want to damage this rod tip. It's a very fine rod tip. I don't know if you guys can see it, just probably 10-20 centimeters underwater, stuck on a rock there. There's a big hard body lure. When the tide drops a little bit more, I'm going to try and get it. Yep. Oh, no. On and off. Maybe we can reach him with the net and just pull him in. Uh-oh, now I've got my net stuck. Had to take the shoes off, but worth it. That is a solid lure. PhD ABS. So that's where the lure was, and this is where it is now. It's not rusty or anything. I don't think it's been there long. Someone would have grabbed it earlier if it was. What a cool little find. Alright, so when you're finished with your micro jigs, you just got to put them in your tackle box. And then you're good to go. Alright, day 2. First one down here this morning. Just past 6 o'clock. So yeah, let's flick some lures, see if there's anything around. We do have an outgoing tide here, so it's going to be pumping out water this way. So hopefully there's something hanging around here. So just while it's still a little bit dark before we get a bit more light, I'll use this H2 Minnow, the white one, 95mm. A little bit of activity there, just something breaching the surface feeding. Yep, on. Just gotta turn my headphones off. What was that, like 4 casts? Little Taylor. So here we go in the torchlight, little Taylor to start off. That was very quick. Send him back and maybe there's a few more there because that was good fun. Alright, the quick lure clip. Twist it off. I recommend doing this, guys. I just keep an old vitamin container and I put all my lures in there, and then that way at the end of the session I can just wash them down with a bit of soapy warm water. Removes all the salt, removes all the scent and that type of stuff, and then dry them properly. And it's just a way to make your lures last way longer. They don't get rusty as quick and they don't break down as quick if you take care of them. And then that way you just know anyone in that container there is in need of a clean. Alright, let's go micro jigging. Alright, I'm going to call it there on day 2 with the micro jig. We had a few bites and that one trevally on day 1, but just not really anything on day 2 with the micro jig. The water is still murky, so I think that kind of affects it. With jigs, you really need to rely on sight and the fish seeing it at a distance so they can come in and attack it. Whereas when the water's murky like it is now, you really need to get lucky and put that jig right in front of a fish. Alright, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Leave me a comment, I love reading them. And thanks so much for watching. See ya.